so if you could just start off with just like what your names are, what bands you were a part of.
All the bands that we've been to?
Sure. Or, maybe end on the main one, or the one that I'm here for.
Go ahead, Brian.
I'm Brian. I've been in Hope for the Wretched, A Beautiful Massacre, Every Hour, Fetal Impalement, and Reasons.
I'm Tim, and I played in Dead Dreams and Aspine and Reasons.
Beautiful. So, to start off, just like where did you guys meet? Like kind of the formation of Reasons, and if any of the other bands kind of like are naturally involved in the story.
So I met Dan very early on, 2009. I think I was 13, and we just hit it off. Both liked a lot of classic rock, and we're getting into a bunch of newer music, like Warped Tour music, stuff like that. And he was from the town over, and it was just a lot of kids coming together outside. It was really nice to have a different group of kids in New Eye Park to just make music with, and like a bunch of nice families over there, and like a whole network of people that eventually became like a music scene over there. And it just expanded more onto Long Island, and we started playing shows. Me and Dan, we just jammed so much, and kept writing riffs and making songs, and eventually formed Reasons. And there was just a lot of good people around us, like, whether it was my brother putting me onto Sunny Day Real Estate, and a lot of good math rock bands, and just listening to my brother play, he really put me onto a lot of good music. And meeting Dan, playing with people that were better than you, that really wanted you to, that really just wanted to write and create, was always good. And when Tim came along, that was like really, really good for the band. Helped us improve a lot, and we played more shows and eventually recorded more. So,
yeah, I met Dan, our guitarist. I met him in like 2010 or 2011, and they had already kind of like linked up by that time. And then we met at like a club that like an after school club, which spanned like both of our high schools. We went to different high schools, and we just kind of connected at one of these meetings for this like, it was like a debate club, and we added each other on Facebook, and then that was it. We didn't really like talk for like a whole nother year. And I saw him post on Facebook that he was looking for a drummer in like 2011 or so, or like even 2012, like right around then. I messaged him, but he'd already found a drummer. He already had a drummer, and they were doing stuff. And then like a whole nother year went by. I see him post again on Facebook that he's looking for a drummer again. And I had like just met this guy one time, like 2 years prior. I messaged him, I'm like, I'll drum for you. And then I went over, I met Brian, saw Dan again, and then the three of us like started as Reasons from there on.
yeah, after the first practice, we were pretty sure it was Tim, other than when he locked his keys in his car. And then Dan's dad took a coat hanger and got his keys out of the car, so we learned how to do that, and we got a drummer,
Oh yeah.
So.
What was the reason that you guys named the band Reasons?
I think the first name was Throbbing, right? So we didn't want to use Throbbing.
Was it really? I didn't even know that.
No, that's what Dan wanted to name it. Wow. So I was like, we're not going to name the band Throbbing. And Reasons, I don't know, it just came about. I don't know exactly when, but it works, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think Dan and you came up with the band name Reasons, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it stemmed from.
Why was there a proclivity to this like emo music, hardcore music in general?
I was telling you, my favorite band is called Aiden from Seattle. They're just like horror punk, very melodic, and a lot of their bridges just get super sad, and like that, along with many other bands, I feel like listening to so many different types of music, that it just stood out to me. And then Dan putting me onto a lot of bands, just showing me bands on YouTube, the twinkly stuff, and like I really love Sunny Day Real Estate too. Like my brother put me onto them, so just listening to more and more music, all the bands, it just like really like all the different genres helps you become a better musician in general. And I feel like that page, right? That page on YouTube kind of just like brought us into the emo scene, I would say, and but we didn't like try to start to do that. We didn't like start the band and say we're an emo band, but it kind of just happened to where me and Dan would make these really sad songs, and those were the best songs. We would jam for hours and hours and hours, make different music, but like those were the songs that were good, and we actually wanted to develop them. It just happened to be that way. We were both sad and making sad music.
Yeah, I could. I guess like growing up, it was like very like suburban, like white town, and it was like so basic, and like I guess like the trajectory that like I thought I was supposed to follow or that I was going to follow was like be a baseball player and then like be like very generic, and I wasn't like accepted like in that sort of like circle. Like I did not vibe very well with like the athletic community at all, and I was getting like really bullied a lot as a middle schooler and early high schooler. And I had a friend of mine who was to this day like one of my best friends, and he started getting just fed up with not fitting into like a generic like middle class kind of like role. He started putting me on to, he got like really into punk rock, like the summer going into ninth grade. He got into like Green Day, and from there got into like the Descendants, and it was like a whole world that like I had no idea existed. I didn't know that like I was in such a bubble of like, and I was not fitting inside that bubble. And me and him realized this together. He really realized it. One of my close friends, Rob, just like, yeah, from then on, like we just like took off running. We started like relating with like punk rock and emo music and goth music and hardcore, and that was like where we were finding, yeah, just like we were relating with like the people in those scenes. And then we started making together music as friends, and like I realized that like playing the drums and getting into music, like that's what I wanted to continue to do. And then I'm just lucky that I got to meet Brian and Dan and do that with Reasons.
Yeah, the genre, just like whatever style of music we made, just kind of came to be, I would say, from everything meshing, all the people we were involved with, seeing different bands live, and just a whole array of music. That's it's important. Especially like I don't play as much as I used to, but if you're really trying to like learn, just like listen to everything, everything you can.
Do you think that like when you started to get enmeshed into the hardcore or the punk scene, did it make you feel like you had like you found your people, or did you ostracize more because of it? Like you found small group and then like you hated the others more, I guess.
There was a lot of mixed genre shows on Long Island too, so it was different times, I'd say, It's definitely more cliquey now, I'd say, with like hardcore shows and emo shows. There was always different bands. There would be an acoustic act, and then followed by a metal act, then we would play, and then a hip hop act, and then a couple more metal acts,
There's that elitism that can come along with it, and you got to break out of that, because I got into this style of music, alternative, emo, hardcore, metal, all that.
For like the opposite reasons, right?
Yeah, to try and find community, to try and find like people that we related with, being like, you're not doing emo the right way, or you're not doing punk the right way. That was like really lame, and I'm glad that like just other people in the scene were able to show me and other people at a young age that there's like a concept of like united hardcore, whether it's like whatever style of emo music or like anything, electronic hardcore, like that it's all like giving you the same sort of like community, and it's for people who don't feel like accepted in other aspects of society. So like, if that's what we're kind of like bonding over, we shouldn't also be ostracizing, whatever subsect of emo or anything like that. So no, I love it all.
Love it all.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit about just like what the Long Island / Queens community was like growing up in it? Like, how did you start booking shows in the first place? Like, was it all just very intertwined naturally, or?
Just Facebook mainly. Facebook was huge. Revolution Bar was like the biggest venue, I'd say, in Amityville. That was a really cool spot. But we mainly did like a lot of backyard shows with Reasons, and just whatever shows we could play. And we just jammed a lot, me and Dan. And like I said, very grateful to find him, and you know, that any exposure we got, you know, we're very grateful for it, because you know, those songs mean a lot to us, you know. Like, I think that's more what it is. Like, they just came from the heart, the songs. Like, whatever me and Dan wrote, it felt like, we were meant to play together. Like, it's like my brother, you know what I mean? Like, we really, really rocked well together, and just like bounced off each other nicely, and we're able to write so. And his family was always so great. You know, his mom would always cook for us, and like, she was a sweetheart. His whole family, and then, like I said, his friend Nick, they would have backyard shows like every summer, and we would also jam in Nick's basement, and it was just like, his parents were big Kiss fans, so they had like Kiss stuff all over the walls, and like the drum set down there, and like they would let us crank and play for hours, you know, and never say a word to us, you know, like we probably sounded like shit a lot, you know, so, and they would just let us jam, and like just a really good network of people in that aspect. And then when it came to playing shows, we played in a lot of basements and backyards. What?
Dong Island.
Dong Island.
Gotta shout out Dong Island. Dong Island.
Yeah.
In terms of the Long Island music scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it culminated all of that, like all these like bands that like us and Reasons, but like a whole bunch of other Long Island bands that were playing backyard shows. It got us out of like the bar scenes, which was like almost getting kind of like taken over by like
metal bands and stuff,
and like corporate like bookers, like they were like sucking money out of the bands constantly. Dong Island really had like took the backyard show and like made it an insane scene. I mean, they had touring bands from all over the country. They had Mitski play there. I mean, they had Snowing play there. I mean, they've had so many like great emo bands.
Played with these guys from Carl Place, Bag of Bones.
Yeah,
that was a really cool shows. That was a cool show. There was like a fraternity house off of the Hofstra campus, but instead they would just have like awesome shows in their basement like a couple of times a month, and Dong Island was awesome.
Yeah, without Dong Island, like
that got us a lot of exposure, I think, like just for like maybe like, I don't know, people didn't know what they were looking for when they came there, so it's like, oh, like these bands are like perfect for that, because they're kind of like, you know, new and exciting, and like, you know, there was a lot of really good. Oswald played there with us, right? Oswald, they're from upstate. Oswald is great.
Yeah, aside from like the bars, they were throwing shows. I mean, a lot of great shows have been put on at like bars and stuff, but I think it really culminated in like a beautiful way with Dong Island. That like Dong Island as a house venue. I mean, yeah, it was incredible times. That was like the best aspect of like Long Island emo that I ever found. There were other cool houses that did shows across the island, but
yeah, even our last show was like associated with Dong Island. It was a different house, but it was not in the basement, but it was in their garage, and it was
Baxter Barbers at the barber shop.
My next question is, and you kind of already answered this, but when you look back, because a lot of people that we talk to, I feel like they almost cringe at this old music that they make. How do you guys feel about Reasons, or about any of the bands that you've been a part of?
I still love all my old music. I don't know. It's just what I grew up on, and I don't know. I don't really feel any sort of way about it. You know, it's just what it is. I listen to all my. I wish I could like go and find more new music that like hits me the same, but it's just like it is what it is. You know. A lot of the old local stuff I still listen to, like just like bands that don't even exist anymore, you know, just stuff that hits home. So, but I could understand it's just like part of the past. Like I can't listen to really sad music, you know, anymore. You know, just like on the regular, because it's like, you know, I gotta go and just live my life. I can't just like be in my room listening to sad music anymore. But as fun as that is, I don't know. I'm not ashamed or cringy about my music or my music taste. I don't know.
No, it's incredible. Like it's crazy. I mean, there was a few years ago. I was like, just if I was by myself, I was getting so drunk, and I would just watch our old videos of us performing, like the live videos that we have, and like it's great. Like it was great. I mean, I stopped drinking since then, but like just like reminiscing and just watching it all, and just like, I mean, great. It was great times. It was awesome times. Like we have a live performance that we did at the Dong Island House. I used to watch that all the time. I still watch that. Love listening to the old music, and I mean,
yeah, with emo music and like watching those old videos, that's something I would do when I was just drinking a lot heavily, and I don't drink anymore, so that was a big part of like listening to the emotional music. So other stuff I still listen to from the past, but emo music not so much, you know. Maybe at the right time, or like, oh, remember this song, but it's you know, it hits home in like a really emotional way sometimes. So, you know, it's not an everyday thing anymore.
I guess for you guys listening to your old stuff, it's like nostalgia. Why do you think Reasons kind of built this like very cult following? And is emo timeless, or does it kind of have a place in like growing up and then moving on?
There's always going to be, you know, angry teenagers making it, I think, so it will just evolve. I think it will always still be there, you know, whether it's punk or metal or like, you know, just people trying to express themselves in that manner. I think it will always be there. And I think a lot of the stuff me and Dan wrote, it was just like, oh, we have to make this into a song that's a good lick, like that's catchy, you know what I mean? That will catch people's ears. Like he's a really good guitarist, Dan, and I, like I said, I'm grateful to, like, when you play with people that are better than you, just like in sports, you know, or anything, it's just like, you know, get as much as you can out of it and like really, really try it. You know, like he made me better playing with him. So a lot of the songs we wrote, like I think that, you know, they're jingly, they're easy on the ear. Some of the stuff, like, it flows into itself well. So I think that's why people like it, you know. I think it's just, I just, you know, it's really good jams. It's really good jams, and I think we put a lot of hours into it. Like I would stay over his house, and we would just write and write and write, you know.
Do we get the cult following? I mean, it's mind blowing. Like 10 years later, like that, like people still message me on Instagram or whatever from Spain, from like Portugal, and want to talk about Reasons. It's wild. You go on TikTok and like people doing covers of our songs from like 10 years ago is like just like so surreal.
Like at the time you're like, oh, I hope people would like catch on to this one day, like the same way I feel about, oh, this is a good song, a good riff. And it's like, it's surprising that people, you know, but it's like, oh, I'm glad people feel the same way about it and people like it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that like Dan, our guitarist and singer, is incredibly talented at guitar and singing, and I mean it definitely like it's probably relatable to a lot of people. I mean, he's got great vocals. The instrumentals are incredible. I mean, they're really, really sad sounding stuff, but like it's also like got like almost an element of like amateurness to it too, which is like, so it's, you know, like it's not too polished or anything. I mean, I think my drums on there like could have been, I wish we had maybe even re-recorded them, but like hearing from people, it's like, no, they like that like sort of unpolished, like dirty kind of sound to it. So I mean, people have fucked with it for a long time, and you know,
it was like raw, and like when it came to writing, it's like I felt like I could be relying on Dan, you know what I mean? If I was like, oh, do something like this, he could have already had done that, you know? I wouldn't even have to say anything. It's like that jam just turns into a song very easily with playing with Dan, you know? It just happens, you know?
And then like, is emo timeless? Like definitely is. Like, you know, it's not just like, I mean, yeah, a lot of us are young when we started making it, but like that, whatever you want to call it, like the anxiety, the depression, the angst, like does not go away. You have it at whatever, we were 19, 20, 21, like making Reasons music, and then I mean, at 31 now, I'm like still very much relating to it, and I don't see, you know, like maybe the ingredients might change a little, but it's still there, you know. So like it's not like I'm growing out of it anytime soon. It's definitely not a phase, you know.
I hope that at some point I can kind of get out of that pot, you know, or just throw in a couple healthier things too, you know.
Happier songs.
Yeah, happier songs, maybe. I don't know. It's like it's addicting though. Like sadness is almost just like.
It's so good. Like
Yeah.
we were saying camping in Alaska. I'm like, I can't listen to them, but I would like to, because it's like it's too sad for me to listen to every day. But it's like it's such freaking good music, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I can't listen to like almost anything else at this point. It's bad.
Totally. I love sad art, whether it's like horror or like music. Like we got there's a lot of beautiful stuff in the world, but there's a lot of sad, fucked up shit in the world too. And I don't know. That's just my preferences for like more sad or spookier stuff.
How do you find like peace or solace outside of making music?
I would say I met the love of my life, and that was amazing. I stopped playing as much when that happened, you know, just got a job, just kind of felt things were falling into place when I became sober too, and like I got this job and the structure of the job.
Loving your life, that's awesome.
I was playing a lot of that music because, you know, it's like it's a way of expressing yourself and your sadness, and then, you know, you meet someone and a lot of that, you know, that want will go away, like what you were looking for, you know, almost. So
Well, I'm very jealous of your puzzle piece, dude. That sounds fucking nice.
I don't know. I mean, there was like no finding peace or solace for a long time. I got like really, really down towards like the end of my 20s. It was just like, yeah, I didn't really find much peace or solace at all. I was just fucked up all the time. I was drinking all the time. I definitely had to like stop doing that. I mean, that was just me personally. I just couldn't handle it, so I had to stop doing that. Found other ways to kind of like work on like self-soothing and whatnot, kind of getting grounded. It's easier said than done, but I mean, just like accepting my life and being kind of grateful for
everything you overcame, you know.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
because it doesn't happen quickly. Like after Reasons, I was still drinking. We were both still like off the wall, you know. Mm-hmm. And like it takes a lot, you know, a lot of sacrifice to just change and like take that next step. Big boy shit.
Yeah.
Like, how did drugs play a part of Reasons? How did it shows? Was it making music? Like, did it hinder your creation when you tried to stop drinking?
I always liked playing when I was drinking and jamming when I was drinking. It felt like, you know, hand in hand. But it was also burning me out. Like I was playing shows from when I was 13 to 22, so I was very burnt out from the lifestyle of it. Not even that I was touring, it's just like all I wanted to do was play shows and practice and drink and party, you know? So it takes a lot out of you, and I was very young, and I did not want to do it anymore. I just wanted to, like, you know, go meet new people and not, you know, be around music anymore. And yet I still wanted to party, and, you know, it was a lot, and it was many years of just like playing shows, and unfortunately, you know, the band broke up because of that, you know, I would say. So, yeah.
I mean, we were smoking a lot of pot together, smoking a lot of weed together. We tried to like do it after our practices and whatnot, sometimes, and then
it was more so of like not wanting to go to practice, you know, because like you wanted to like go on a, you know, vacation trip somewhere, you know, that like I didn't want to like to spend all my time doing it anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I was having fun elsewhere, you know, meeting other people and going on trips, stuff like that.
Right.
So it was I was drifting away from it. I did it for a very long time, like playing shows constantly. So
right.
Yeah, lugging around equipment, you know, it's like you play in front of 5 people one week and then 100 people the next week, and then you're practicing and you're like, there's no progression with it, no money in it, and like all my friends are going off to school, taking these trips, and yeah, I want to go with them. I want to go see what's good, and not just be stuck confined to Long Island and Brooklyn and Queens playing shows. I just wanted to do something else.
And then did drugs kind of transcend that time though? But for some reason that was able to stay.
I was drinking more heavily after Reasons stopped, I would say. Yeah, it just got worse, and grateful that I was able to stop. So
yeah, we'd like would hang out and drink, and like we would smoke and stuff together. But like at the time, I guess it wasn't taking the toll on my mental health that like it later would. It was like starting to, and I was like trying to like find different ways, like where I felt comfortable still smoking, because like I used to love to smoke weed, and weed's totally cool. Like I'm totally cool with anybody who who wants to do it. Like it started to take its effect on my mental health, and then even especially and then after once we kind of stopped making music together, that's when it like really, that along with like the constant drinking, just like for me personally ended up taking a big toll. But
it was all part of it. Like we were just like a lot younger and kids, and just we thought it was cool, like drinking and drugs and partying like any other, like a lot of kids, And with being in the music scene and the type of shows we were playing, like party shows, backyard shows, it was all there, So I would say it was a big part of it, Which is why I was so burnt out by the end of it. I was like, I can't do this. Even though I wasn't touring or anything, I was just like, I was done, I had to do something else.
What was the quitting mechanism like? How did that go?
for quitting alcohol and
or drug use, or party scene, whatever you want to define it.
Rock bottom. Just yeah. Too many nights or too many mornings of like, oh, what the fuck happened, and everything is falling. You got to pick up the pieces. It just really got old, and the feeling got worse every single time of what the fuck did I do last night? Because we're the same type of drinkers. We just black out. We're fun until we're not. So I just turn into an asshole. It's like I don't want to. I want to help people. I don't want to, I want to help the same people that I'll poke fun at and hurt their feelings when I'm drinking. So it's like, why I get like that, Yeah.
We had a lot of fun drinking together, though.
Yeah, we did.
I feel like it changes too when you start, what I would imagine the band kind of splits and then you are drinking more alone and stuff like that. That's when shit gets a little dicey.
Yeah, he would be like, I'm drinking, watching the Reasons videos. I'd be like, same.
Yeah, I would me and Brian would be on the phone together and I'd be like, dude, I'm so drunk. I'm watching the fucking the Reasons.
Dick, you cut your hair.
The quitting mechanism for it. I mean, it was late 2016. We had played our last show by then. But we were still friendly. We've all been good friends since even afterwards. But I guess it was my mental health was totally taking a downward spiral. My just stuff going on in my life, and then just college and family health problems. My mom ended up passing away. That's something we've all dealt with, and I tried to quit on my own. I guess I realized that weed for me had gone from my favorite thing in the world and my best friend to it was giving me crazy paranoia, and I was so upset about that because I love weed and I think weed's cool and it helps a lot of people. It's if it works for you, that's awesome, and no one should be in prison for it or anything like that. But it was giving me such crazy paranoia. I tried to throw it away in the garbage by myself, and then a few months later just went back to it. And then I was doing it just by myself because I couldn't really be around people while I was smoking. But I still wanted to it was such a part of my identity, that I wanted to keep doing it. like I ended up getting arrested. I got arrested for a DWI in 2017. I had to quit for that, but like I didn't really want to. I just like I had to for like legal reasons. It's not until like a few years later, like 2023, that I like put it all down, and I just went and got help, you know, from like just like I went and got help that I hadn't been seeking prior. I needed like other people's help, find like a community of like other people who same thing, same reason I went to emo music, same reason I went to like punk rock and hardcore, because I wanted to find people that had like similar backgrounds to me, similar experiences, and I found that and was able to like put down the drinking like with the help of other people, and it's been good for my mental health and my life. But drinking's totally sick though if you don't like get arrested for it, and if you don't fuck up your relationships, then
For
like
some people, yeah.
yeah, it's totally, you know, but for me
But once you stop too, you start to realize, oh, I could like cope with the little things in life, just like day-to-day shit, you know? You could cope with it without alcohol because you're not like, oh, I need a drink because of this, you know what I mean? So it's as you go too, you know, it becomes harder some days, you know, some days are hard, but like it becomes easier as it goes, you know? It's like anything, just consistency.
I feel like the identity piece I definitely resonate with. Just don't even know what would be left. And then also like boredom. Like how do you deal with boredom?
You will be bored.
Yeah.
And just a simple man.
Movies, music, all
Yeah.
things that you know.
But you keep everything in front of you though, you know, you really like, and the little things matter then too, like the cup of coffee in the morning could be the best part of your day, and it's like a really good cup of coffee, you know what I mean? It's like, or just like going to the gym, simple things, you know what I mean? Just like noticing something, like it can make your day instead of just like being so worried about when the party is, you know what I mean? So, but it is boring, you know? So.
it's like a good kind of boring, but then like
Safety.
yeah, but then it's also like I've had like a lot of fun. Like I met people like around my age, similar backgrounds, similar experiences. I mean, like we were drinking as a band and like partying a bit as a band, but like yeah, like afterwards was like when like the drinking and doing like ketamine with the alcohol and like all of that, and you know, doing other things.
Yeah, it totally drew me away from music too. Like not just being tired of doing it, like, you know, it getting like more volume. The volume of partying was getting crazy, you know, going upstate and going to party schools and stuff, you know, visiting places, you know.
I just started surrounding myself with like people that like I related to. I have like a group of friends now who like similar sort of trajectory, similar experience, and we just like are sober together, and we have a lot of fun. We've gone hiking, camping, we go to the movies, you know, and like what I've come to realize is like everything that like I personally was looking for in like weed and ketamine and alcohol, that like I found it in being sober. Like at first I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be awful. This is gonna be terrible. This is the end of my life. But like, it's like so psychedelic outside right now. Like it's so, the world is like so trippy like right now. Like I got to like drive here without like having ketamine in my car and like being afraid that like I was gonna get pulled over. I wasn't like drunk driving my car. So like that was fun. I got to like have a good car ride here and get to like do this awesome interview and like be with my best friend Brian. I used to love to do like mushrooms and acid and everything, and like those are still cool tools, but like for me they like started to like affect my mental health. And like it's cloudy out and rainy out right now, but like we're like in a pretty cool day. Like we're like in a freaking forest, ocean, earth thing going through space. Like it's pretty trippy. It's pretty psychedelic right now, you know? And like I get to like go to work and like not be like super hungover or like not lose my job. Like I've gotten fired from jobs from being so like fucked up, and like that's where like I'm finding like the fun today of like, wow, I can like pay some rent like finally, rather than like I was sleeping in my car towards the end of like drinking. I've that's like fun to me now. Like losing everything and sleeping in my car was like not fun, but then like that transition from like I'm gonna quit doing this shit and then like my life's gonna suck. It's like my life was fucking awful like towards the end in terms of just like pushing away all my friends, having nowhere to live, having no job, but like at least I got to drink. Like that was by the end like it was miserable, and now like quitting it all, like my life is, I have a lot of fun being sober. And
I wanted to make, just so the safety aspect of it, you know, just keeping everything in front of you. Like a Monday could be the same as a Friday. A Monday morning could be the same as a Friday, because you're not worried about, you know, going out, you know, oh, it's closer, oh, I'm in a good mood because it's Friday because I get to go get banged up, you know what I mean? It's like, and you're just able to deal with shit like calmer, because you're not like, oh, I wish I had a drink, you know. It's just like, well, at least for me it was a lot easier to just deal with day-to-day shit without drinking, you know. It takes over a lot. Months, you know, and like years, like 2 years to completely stop, I would say, because I would go back and get comfortable again, like say, oh, I could, you know, go party again, but ultimately it always ends up badly, you know. It's no good for me. You gotta really want to stop for yourself, like you were saying, like even like legal reasons for you, and then like all these obvious reasons in front of me that were affecting other people, but I didn't want to stop, and I had to like mature and like, you know, really do it for myself. So
yeah,
and it sounds selfish, like, but it's like, yeah, it was for me, because like the shit was affecting me directly, you know. So you're feeling it, and like you're feeling what everyone else is feeling finally, and it's like, oh wow, you know,
right,
it's time.
Yeah, it didn't matter like that my girlfriend was upset, or that my friends were upset, or that I got arrested, or that like it was, yeah, ultimately that like when I had enough, then I could like start to but make the transition. But yeah, the transition definitely took a while. I was just like talking with people who had kind of had the same experience, who had managed to like stop doing drugs and alcohol, and I would like talk with them, and then yeah, a couple weeks of like no drinking, I started to feel good again, and I would like down a whole 12-pack, and because I started to feel good again. But
yeah, with the warmer weather coming around too, it's always hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's always.
Yeah, but the same with cold weather.
Yeah, there's always a reason. There's always.
It's. I don't know. It's easier for me to just bunker down and not do it. For me, it's like, oh, I want to go out and like be in the sun with a drink, you know, on the beach. Like that's hard, you know. But you find ways to do it, ways to cope, you know. Like I said, it is boring, but you know, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just know that if
we're here to help, you know. Like seriously.
Yeah, if I go back to drinking, like I'm gonna drive my car drunk, and I don't like the person that I am when I'm driving like a car drunk, or when I'm like ruining my relationships with my friends.
Yeah, you got to think of all the worst shit you've ever done, like, and say that could potentially happen, because it's absolutely true. It could, you know. One thing leads to the other, so.
Yeah, slippery slopes. Slippery slopes. All right, I'm gonna pivot back to the emo scene now, if I can. Why do you think, okay, so like there was a lot of emo music, or like this like really tight pocket when Reasons was making music, you know, there's Camp in Alaska, like Midwest Pen Pals, and then there was maybe not a lull, but why is there like this resurgence right now in the punk or emo community?
It's because it's not timeless. I mean, emo's been around for hundreds of years, really, in one art form or another. And I mean, you've got like Your Arms Are My Cocoon playing now, and acts like them, and
some of the 80s power ballads. I know that's not 100 years ago, but that shit rips. Like
totally,
like Dawkins is like so sad and melodic. Like
100 Gex,
Queensryche, it's like so sad. No, like those guys are sadder than Reasons, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Freaking Yeah, but why is there a resurgence? I mean,
Like, why are people playing your guys' songs on TikTok? Why are they like?
We're not answering your question, sorry. Yeah, just I guess like the fast-paced ADHD of like TikTok and Instagram, you know, that like music just circulates so quickly, and you know, just bits and pieces of songs, it catches people's ears like in a really rapid way, you know, with all the social media, I'd say. So that was a huge part of it. Like we found out these guys were just using one of our songs in a skate video in Italy, and we're like, some people would be like, oh, let's sue them, and it's like, no, we're like, that's awesome, you know. Like, yeah, it's like that's like more exposure, you know, that's cool. But why is it expanding? I don't know why people caught on to our stuff. Like, I always liked it, you know, I always liked what we made, but like I always hoped people would enjoy it, but I never thought it would, you know, catch so many people's ears or become a thing, you know.
I had a friend of mine years ago say to me, like, Tim, all music is emo. All music is emotional. And like, yeah, like we're humans, and like humans have emotions. And I mean, you got like, yeah, bands like 100 Gex coming out and taking that, like what we know as emo, and like kind of adding like newer spins to it with like the electronics and whatnot. But I mean, like, humans are emotional creatures, and you know, whether it's like Madonna or like or anything, or like Beyonce or anybody else. I mean, there's so much like emotional music out there.
With like this rise in tech or something like that is naturally like isolating individuals more and more. Like, emo is the scene that's like we just like need it more and more, you know. It's like it's a negative correlation or something like that, because we need to like you mosh, there's like a pit, you like hug each other, like I don't know, I feel like there's something to do with like just the way of the world and the way it's going, that you need punk music.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone's very nostalgic about the 90s, early 2000s at this point, and maybe like any emo riff, even if it's not from that time, if you just put that over something from that time period, it will like kind of go with it, you know, and people will be like, that's how I feel about that, you know. But it just happens to be a random like lick from a random band's song, and it goes really well together, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
The 90s nostalgia stuff.
in this life, we're not taught to embrace our emotions or like show your emotions except through like music.
2 more questions.
Whatever you want. 10 more.
What's what media do you consume outside of music?
I love horror movies.
Who are some of your favorites?
My favorite horror series,
Horror series or any?
Mark Duplass from Creep is awesome.
Duplass Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Fucking sweet.
They're doing the Backrooms movie too. He's in that's about to come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's part. Dude,
Yeah.
I love Mark and Jay,
Yeah.
dude. Like, they're so fucking good.
He's sick,
I even
man.
liked him in, like, The Morning Show. You know, even though I don't really like Jennifer Aniston, I just love Mark Duplass.
I just came across that recently. I was looking into like the other stuff that he's done over the years, but Creep and like Creep 2 and like the Creep tapes are so cool because like it's very like relatable. Like he's just like a human guy. He's not like some like supernatural demon or anything. He's just like a fucked up guy with like crazy intrusive thoughts, and like I have crazy intrusive thoughts, and like I can like relate to him, but then he puts the axe in your back, and like that's like, yeah, we're like, I haven't done that, but like, no.
Dude.
Is that with him?
Yeah, that's their first movie that they put together. It's about this, like, it's a horror film, but it's very like Creep Show-esque. It's like they go up into the mountains and then there's like a haunted chair. It's awesome.
I gotta look at that. I'm gonna watch that.
If you like Mark Duplass,
Yeah.
and you like Creep, like this is like the pre-Creep kind of stuff.
Nice.
You guys know Phantasm?
Fantastic.
That sounds familiar. What is that?
It's a weird, like, cult classic horror movie. I don't know, this weird guy David that my mom knew put us onto it.
Fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Phantasm, yeah.
So you also like horror movies?
Yeah. So we started with the classic, like, slasher films, getting them from Blockbuster. Me and my brother, like all the Jason, Friday the 13th movies, and then like Rob Zombie movies, like got us into more gruesome stuff. But yeah, even stuff back to like, you know, just good comedy movies, stuff back to like the Three Stooges, you know, like a lot of classic stuff I even watch now, you know.
Music's definitely the biggest medium that I consume. I like some horror movies. I Think You Should Leave, like sketch comedy.
Tim Robbins is awesome.
It's great. Huge Conor O'Malley fan. Love Conor O'Malley. You know, like if it's like, other than that, like I don't keep up with like any TV shows. Like I tried watching The Sopranos. I got like a few episodes in within the past like few weeks.
It's fucking awesome.
It's really good, but like I'm not gonna like binge watch the show or anything like that. Like I'll eventually maybe make my way through it, or like I'll fall off with it. But I'm not like if it's not like a horror movie, like, and even that genre, I haven't delved like super deep into it. But like that's gonna be the one genre that I'll watch. Otherwise, I'm just listening to like all different types of music. Like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm also trying to not let sports like bother me anymore. Like other things, just like getting over like the little things in life. And I'm doing a good job with things, but I can't not get mad at the Giants. You know, watching the New York Giants play. So I just have to not watch. Like that's what I can see. Yeah, I just the only way I can't get mad is if I don't watch the games. You know. So
you quit sports.
No, I still watch the games and get really mad. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like you got it.
I'm like, what is it like? What does it do for me? Like, absolutely nothing. Like they don't.
Bet on it or something?
No. No, I mean, I did actually gamble and got over gambling like pretty swiftly compared to like the horror stories I've heard. But you know.
That shit's dangerous.
Yeah, I could just be watching, sitting there in my jersey on a Sunday, like getting angry at the TV about the Giants. And I'm like, the next day I'm like still angry about it at work. And I'm like, how is this like affecting me so much? Like this guy just cut me off and almost killed me. And I'm not mad about that. But I'm mad about the Giants losing, you know, just because they lost, you know. So, yeah. Getting out of sports a little bit.
I can't say that I've ever been, like my family, I was raised by two Irish families, so they were really into sports, but I just never got into it. But it seems like we're the best.
Yeah, I don't know why football gets me so mad.
Wait, who's the baseball team?
Yankees?
No, Mets. You watch them too?
I watch the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you guys are Long Island.
Yeah, a lot of Yankee fans. I grew up a Yankee fan. There's definitely like a correlation between like sports teams and like hardcore and emo. You know, of course. Yeah.
Let's hear this.
Sports, the band, or like.
Yeah. Once like modern baseball came around, it's like it's okay to play baseball and you know wear a Yankees hat again.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wait, was that what their whole tip was? Because I thought they were like almost like making fun of people that like sports.
I don't know what it was.
But you took it in whatever way.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like terrible sarcasm. I don't know.
I guess it's like somewhat tongue in cheek with like the sadness of like, you know, like what you said about like just general depression or like.
I mean,
tragedy.
Dan was always like that the Mets are the most emo baseball team. And I'm like, you're damn right about that because I'm a Yankees fan.
Right.
That's why I'm not sad about baseball.
You're
but
sad about your sports team losing.
I'm like, but have you heard of the Chicago Bears? You know, like they're like the saddest football team. You know.
Right.
So yeah, Dan always definitely compared the Mets to emo music. So there we go.
I was sad that I couldn't like fulfill like my dream of becoming a baseball player, probably of becoming like a Major League Baseball player, and then I got into emo music from there. But yeah, there's definitely like a lot of people that are into like sports, and that's cool. You know, sports teams are cool. It's like I used to love going to see like the Islanders and especially when I was drunk. I would like watch hockey then with like people who could explain to me what was going on in the game. But
the new arena that they play at is really, really nice.
UBS.
If you ever go to a show there, yeah. Saw Smashing Pumpkins there.
Wow.
Saw Iron Maiden there. Jane's Addiction. Jane's Addiction opened for Smashing Pumpkins. It was awesome.
I saw Suicide Boys there. That was sweet.
They were super sick for a while, but I feel like they kind of fell off. Scarecrow. I think Austin and them know. Not Scarecrow. What's the other one? Ruby.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. He was from.
He's from Louisiana, and
they would play shows in Huntington. Town.
Really?
Wherever the fuck him.
I'm
Huntington.
gonna have to ask him about that. That's wild.
Yeah, they like know him. You know?
I'm not. That's not surprising. I guess Ruby's big into like.
I mean, I see the correlation between like a Suicide Boys emo more than I see fucking baseball.
Totally.
No, just because of their losses and their how depressed they make their fans.
Just constant heartache of
Right.
being a Mets
Yeah.
fan.
Right.
Really
It's
good.
very relatable. 'Cause I see all my friends that are Mets fans. I don't know. They're all so sad.
Ruby's solo music's produced by Will Yip from who's done like Touche Amore and like a bunch of other bands from like Run for Cover Records, and yeah, big producer in like that sort of scene of emo.
One last question. You found each other and you made like music that you hold dearly. Like, what do people do that like do not have that scene, or like that? What do they do? Like someone who doesn't have that community, but is like feels the same kind of feelings. Like, I don't know. What's your advice for those kind of people?
You're saying that the people who can't find like a local scene, or
Or like maybe they know of a local scene, but like they don't have a band. They can't express themselves like maybe you guys were able to. Like, I don't know.
it's a good question.
I
I
don't
think
know.
there's a lot of people that are
Like-
like out in Kentucky that are like listening to Reasons and they're sad as shit and they just don't. They're ostracized, but they don't have the outlet that you guys might have. So what do they do?
Don't be afraid to just say hey to random people. Like you know, they say don't talk to strangers, but like you have to, and you have to like trust people, and you have to like not be afraid. You know. Some of the greatest relations are just made on the fly, probably. You know, just like meeting people. You know, giving someone a chance. You know what I mean? And giving yourself a chance. You know. So, also, in regards to that, like learning an instrument, really like learning your craft, listening to a bunch of different types of music. You know, using social media to talk to people. Like we're in a day and age where that's there. So, I would say definitely like stick with the music scene, whatever music scene you do know, and just try to talk to people as much as you can, because you know that was always it for me, just mingling. And I did want to end on just like being so grateful for like the people I had immediately around me, like Kev Kemp and Andrew O and Nick Tyler and his family and Dan and his family, like just having those spots to like, I'm so grateful for that. So try to find people that are better than you to play with, and try to just, you know, listen to as much music as possible and be around it as much as possible, you know, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Just are you asking like for people who like don't have a local emo scene, or people who like maybe are not into emo but are like still trying to get their emotions out? Like,
I think it could be probably more the latter. I mean, that feel emo feelings, but maybe do not identify with the emo scene. I mean, they could, but either way, they are isolated in a way that's they're just isolated. How do they make the first step out of that isolation and like find the people that you know they connect with? I guess.
Find as many shows as possible, right?
the outlet is like art. So like for us, it was a big Long Island emo scene, and Long Island music in general. For people who maybe don't want to like exactly make emo music or whatever, I mean, the library is a great place to start. You know, like to find like some sort of community center, you know, some sort of like center of wherever you're at. And then maybe you don't want to like make emo music. I mean, there was a time when like I wasn't making emo music, but I would do like performance art at like open mics. I would write poems, and I would like do that as an artistic outlet. I would like say my poems in a weird way under the moniker Yimner, but like just want to shout that out. But if maybe you want to write poetry, or maybe you want to do some other sort of like artistic outlet. I mean, you could take some really sad pictures, you can draw some really sad things, you can write some really emotional poems. You know, you could make up something that no one's ever seen before. You could try and like, you know, push boundaries or whatever. Or you can, who knows, you could get into therapy or whatever. You know, you can get into counseling. You can like help other people. You know, I feel like being there for somebody and like helping somebody else out can help you as an outlet for your own emotions. You know, being there for like the people in your life, being there for your family and for your friends is like a great way to let out like the emotions that are inside of you as well. You gotta find like your local library, or maybe there's a like some sort of art center or film center where you could start finding like-minded people. And
it's a little ironic to say, oh, like, hey, you might like this sad song too, to like relate in that way, but also maybe find comfort. And it's like, if they can enjoy it the same way that you did, like any sort of art style, you know, whether it's emo music or just something you enjoy, you know, just like sharing it with them, and if they could relate to it, you know, finding comfort in that.